there's one player that I feel that is a lock to make the Carolina Panthers roster that I feel needs to lock it down this upcoming season. It's Ike Ekwonu, the left tackle. And the reason why I bring that up is because it was reported earlier today that the Indianapolis Colts reached a 4-year contract extension with left tackle Bernard Raymond. 4-year contract, $100 million. So you're looking at a $25 million average per year, which puts him up at top 5 in the NFL. That's equivalent to Laramie Tunsil with the Washington Commanders, who's 31 years of age. Christian Darrisaw with the Minnesota Vikings is at $26 million a year. Rashawn Slater, who just got paid big time by the LA Chargers, is making $28.5 million a year. Now, the guy that I just mentioned that is making the aforementioned $25 million a year in Raymond was a third-round pick. A third-round pick by the Indianapolis Colts in 2022. Ike Ekwonu was the 6th overall pick in 2022 at the exact same position. Now, if you look at what Ike Ekwonu has done so far in his first 3 years in the NFL, where has he struggled? It's pass blocking. Now, if you look at his run blocking grades, he's one of the best in the entire league. Now, last year, according to Pro Football Focus, again, Pro Football Focus is, they basically do film breakdown and they assign grades to players. I take Pro Football Focus with grains of salt and a few cracks of pepper, Victoria. Maybe even smother a little garlic parmesan on there.
Ooh, nice.
It is National Chicken Wings Day. So you know what?
Do it.
Do a dry rub, whatever you got to do. But his overall grade, Ike Ekwonu, was 71.7 last year. Again, on a scale of 0 to 100, 100 obviously being the best. A grade of 71.7. That ranked 38th overall out of 140 tackles in the NFL. Now, only 64 are actual starters. Again, you have guys that get hurt and will come in and play at different times. Like Brady Christensen played left tackle at different times last season because Ike Ekwonu did get banged up a little bit. But he ranked overall 38th in the NFL, which will put you average. Average overall in the NFL among tackles. Now, if you go to his run blocking grade, he was at 80.5. 80.5 was 11th best in the NFL among tackles. That's elite level run blocking. Now, his pass blocking grade, Victoria, was a 66.2, which was 65th in the NFL. Again, 64 players start at tackle. He rated 65th in pass blocking grade.
Dead last.
Again, well, not dead last, but at 140, he was 65th. We saw, if you look at overall run block win rates, again, the advanced numbers, and pass block win rates as an offensive line as a whole. Last year, the Panthers were ranked 10th in the NFL in run block win rate. 10th best in the NFL. Not surprising, Victoria, that the running game was pretty damn good. They were 30th as a whole, as a unit, the offensive line was in pass block win rate. 30th in the NFL. There are 32 teams. So third worst. 10th best rushing, third worst in terms of pass protection. Now, the reason why I bring up this is a big year for Ike Ekwonu is that they did pick up the 5th-year option on his rookie contract. This is year 4 for him, so he is under contract for next year. But much like a few minutes ago when we talked about Bryce Young, this is I hate to use the term make or break, but it feels like a make or break season for Ike Ekwonu because if he lives up to that 6th overall pick potential, then you got to pay the guy a big-time contract. Again, he's going to be going into the final year of his contract next year, and you might be looking to spend potentially the $25 million a year range or the $26 million a year range because that's what the market dictates. Now, Ike Ekwonu is still a really young guy, 25 years old. But you look at guys like, again, Rashawn Slater's 26. He's making $28.5 million. Andrew Thomas of the Giants is making $23.5 million. Again, a guy that was just drafted in his draft class, and Bernard Raymond just got $25 million a year. on an extension. Drafted the exact same year, and that guy was a third-round pick. So this season is pivotal for Ike Ekwonu because his level of play is going to dictate so much of what's going to happen with the future of this team. If Bryce Young balls out and has a big year, well, then guess what? You're also going to have to pay Bryce Young too. And if Ike Ekwonu has a big year, now you got to pay both those guys, which then is going to obviously have the trickle-down effect on everyone else. Now I got to make sure that my rookie receivers stay intact with Xavier Legette, Tedero McMillan, Jalen Coker. I'll throw Jimmy Horn Jr. in the mix because now I'm paying some of these premium players in premium spots. I got to be inexpensive in others. But let's say Bryce Young does have a really good year, Victoria, but Ike Ekwonu struggles. Well, then now the Dan Morgan in the front office, they have to decide, okay, well, now do I have to go draft a left tackle this upcoming year, or do I have to spend big money in free agency to go get a left tackle? As opposed to, I've got my franchise left tackle, I've got my franchise quarterback, now I can use that first-round pick, Victoria, on, hey, let's go get another premium defensive player.
Right.
Because we need that. We need another premium defensive player. We need another premium, whatever it might be. You know what? We need to go get that ball hawking safety, someone that can really make plays and cause turnovers, or someone on another edge rusher to go wrong with Scorton and Numamielen and continue to build there with young players. But if we have a struggle at left tackle, now I got to devote resources to going somewhere else. So this is why I say it's a make or break year for Ike Ekwonu. Yes, he does have the final year of his, fifth-year option was picked up next year, but so much of what you do or what the Panthers are going to do a year from now is going to be dictated by really just a couple of guys. Ike Ekwonu, Bryce Young. There's so much that's going to be riding on those two guys this season. Again, if you feel like Bryce Young is going to be your guy, then guess what? You're going to pay him a boatload of money this coming offseason. And if you feel like Ike Ekwonu could be, he really is developed into that anchor left tackle that we feel we can protect Bryce Young for the next 5 years, well, then, of course, you're going to pay him as well. And if you have those two positions solidified and you feel really good about your young wide receiving core, well, guess what? I can make a luxury pick. Hey, I can go after another prime-time corner to go along opposite side of J.C. Horn with my first-round pick next year, or that big-time playmaking safety, or another edge rusher or a guy that's on my interior front that can really wreak havoc on the defensive side of the ball. But if Ike Ekwonu struggles this year, well, then now I have to now I got to go pay money elsewhere, or to use a draft pick or two to go get a left tackle that I need to protect my franchise QB. So really, there's so much riding on this season on a couple of guys, Bryce Young and Ike Ekwonu, just because of where they stand in terms of what their contract eligibility is, in terms of signing extensions and all that. There's so much riding on the line on those two guys, which is crazy to think about. Crazy to think about. Now, people have contended, have pushed and said, you know what, Ike Ekwonu might be an elite level guard, which is true, which the Panthers might realize, hey, you know what? Damian Lewis, who they signed to a contract as a free agent last year, after 2 years of a 4-year contract, maybe the decision is they move on from Damian Lewis and they kick Ike Ekwonu inside. Hey, you'll be less expensive, but you know our offensive system? Just go be a run-blocking mauler.
Yeah, we'll take it.
But then you still got to worry about what you got to do at left tackle.
Yeah.
There's still questions that arise. But Ike Ekwonu can erase all doubts this coming season.
Yeah.
Much like we talked about with Bryce Young, Ike Ekwonu can do that, Victoria.
I just want him to fit in somewhere. That's
sure.
We're just frustrated because he's local to here, so of course we want to see him be successful, but I don't know. I just felt like there was a lot of promise for him, and it's there. We've seen it in little snippets. So whatever he's comfortable with and whatever works best with the team, hopefully both of that meshes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So I mentioned that Bernard Raymond that signed the contract extension with the Colts. In a comparison of Pro Football Focus grades, again, Pro Football Focus, take this all with a grain of salt, his grades compared to Ike Ekwonu. Again, Ike Ekwonu's grade overall was a 71.7, 38th in the NFL last year among offensive tackles. The overall grade for Raymond, 85.1, eighth best among tackles.
Wow.
Pass blocking grade for Raymond was an 82, 14th best among offensive tackles. That's an elite level. Run blocking grade, 80.7. That was 10th best in the NFL among tackles last year. So he's elite level at both pass blocking and at run blocking. His run blocking grade even slightly better than Ike Ekwonu's. So there's another level of Ike Ekwonu to get to. And imagine this, Victoria. I'll close this on this thought. If Ike Ekwonu, still super young, raises that level to be up to that 6th overall pick potential, Bryce Young doesn't have to worry about getting hit from the blind side.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine how much more time Bryce Young's going to have to stand in the pocket. Imagine how much better Bryce Young's stats will be.
Oh, yeah.
Just imagine that.
Take that pressure away from him. I'd love to see that.
Because he got, let's keep this in mind. The last 10 games of the year last year for Bryce Young, again, we talked about his stats. He was still sacked last year. In those last 10 games, a lot.
Yeah.
He was sacked 22 times in those last 10 games. If you look at over a 17-game season, that's over 37 sacks given up. That's still a good amount. If you get that number down, then guess what? Bryce's numbers get better, Xavier Legette, everyone else's numbers rise. One guy's got to anchor it down. That's got to be Ike Ekwonu.